Hey kids, this is Ivan. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, you're trying as hard as you can, and you're still falling apart? Like you missed a day that everybody else got the instruction manual for life, and now you're just winging it. You're confused, you're exhausted, and maybe a little ashamed that you don't really have it all figured out. Yeah, me too. I get it. This video won't give you a map, but I think it can offer you a compass. Here's the first uncomfortable truth about life. You're not broken, you're human. And being human is messy by design. We're not machines. We didn't come off a factory assembly line with instructions for use. We evolved. And evolution doesn't care about peace or happiness, it cares about survival. That's the reason we're full of all these contradictions. Tribal and altruistic, aggressive and cooperative, generous and selfish. It's all in there, fighting for dominance every single day. And so you take all of that messy wiring and contradictory drives and you drop yourself into a world full of billions of other human beings that are the same. And yeah, that's a recipe for chaos. You're not lost because you're failing. You're lost because the world doesn't come with a map or an instruction manual, and that's why you need a compass. So here's how people like you get stuck. Maybe you're not fighting to stay alive, but you're fighting to stay afloat. There's bills and jobs and expectations and obligations, constant comparison with other people. And the hierarchy of needs got hijacked. And a lot of times it's hard to tell our wants from our needs, and we chase them as if our life depends upon it. You can end up in a cycle of working to pay for things that you don't even want and wondering why life feels empty. And that's before emotions enter the picture. Some days you're up, some days you feel like you're drowning, some days you just don't know what to do and it feels like everybody else does. And I got news for you. There's no certainty. There's no off-ramp, at least no good ones. And at some point you realize that nobody is coming to give you a map or instruction guide. And that's when a compass becomes necessary. But before we get to the compass, let's talk about this tightrope that we all walk between self-compassion and self-responsibility. You've heard both, right? Take ownership of your life and be kind to yourself. But nobody explains how to do both at once, and a lot of people either collapse into guilt and self-blame or they coddle themselves into paralysis. But real growth, real movement in the right direction, it only happens when you carry both truths at the same time. Look, you're responsible and you're human. Maybe you want to change, and it's okay that it's hard. Like all of us, you've made mistakes, and you deserve credit for still being here. That's the compass again. Not shame, not perfection, just orientation, just direction. Speaking of direction, you can end up going in the wrong direction, and there is a terrible trap that people don't like to talk about, and that's the idea that when life gets hard, escape starts to look like a viable strategy. That's the ugly world of addiction. Alcohol, other drugs, gambling, binge eating, porn, doom scrolling, being a workaholic, whatever lets you not feel for a while. And honestly, that can work for a little while, but then it doesn't. And you can watch other videos where I talk about my own recovery from addiction. And I get it. Modern life is too loud, too fast, too complex. And the problem isn't just the world, it's the fact that we're running what amounts to caveman software in what looks like a cyberpunk hellscape sometimes. But escape is not the answer, especially not self-destructive escape. And whether or not you're struggling with addiction in some form, if you're still standing, if you're still breathing, if you're still trying, give yourself some credit. You've got a compass buried in you. Maybe you just forgot how to use it. Some people say the opposite of addiction is connection. And whether or not you struggle with addiction, connection is really important as a human being. But here's something that a lot of people won't admit. Modern loneliness isn't about being alone. It's about fragmentation. Think about it. You've got a lot of groups of friends. I have friends from work, friends from music, friends from recovery, friends from RPGs, but in very few cases do these groups ever intersect. My tribe and your tribe is fractured. And if you're smart, introspective, and curious about truth, which I assume you are if you're watching this channel, then your tribe tends to get smaller. Surface level friends are easy to find, but real connection, that's rare. But that connection is vital because your compass is all but useless if you don't have people to walk with. The internet has made it a lot easier to find your people, and you don't need that many of them. You still have to seek them out. You don't need a crowd, but you do need a few people that really see you. That's not a cure for our fractured communities, but it does make it a little bit easier on you. Over the years, those friends have said things that helped me and that I needed to hear. And here's a story about one of those times. My sponsor and I were talking about the first year of recovery, and he asked me, do you remember how every day was a crisis? Everything was urgent. And I said, yes, I remember that vividly. He said, name what they were. And I couldn't. They just weren't that important, despite how urgent they felt at the time. That's when I learned that urgency isn't importance and that crisis isn't always real. Ask yourself, what really matters to you? What gives you peace or direction or meaning? And what are you chasing just because it's loud or it's expected? A compass only gives good direction when you know what matters, and you have to figure that out. Let's zoom all the way out. Cosmically, nothing matters. The sun is going to expand and consume the earth. There's going to be no legacy. The universe will eventually die a heat death. There is no grand plan or inherent meaning to everything. So what do? We make our own meaning, not because it's delusional, but because it's human. You don't need a guarantee because there is none. You need a direction, a reason, a why. And that, my friends, is what the compass is for. Your compass is going to be unique because it's yours, but there are some things that I believe every compass should have. Don't harm yourself. Don't harm other people. Take care of yourself and take care of the people you love. Figure out who really matters to you. It's not going to be as many people as you think. You don't need to please everybody. And there's very few people you need to care what they think. Do what makes you feel alive, that lets you live out loud and be authentically you. Be humble enough to admit that you don't know everything and ask for help when you need it. Offer help to other people when they need it, but don't try to save everybody. Don't be a jerk. Be a part of the solution, not a part of the problem. Take responsibility, but only for what's yours. Set boundaries and don't let people take advantage of you. And no matter how hard things seem, don't give up. There's no playbook, there's no guaranteed path, no map, just a messy world and one small tool to help navigate it. Your compass. So take it and go live your life. Thanks a lot for watching. I would really love to hear your comments. If you like and subscribe, that helps the channel, but only do it if you really like it or really want to subscribe. And as always, have a good one, kids. Take it easy.